I've received some inquiries about what Mike Mentzer recommended with regard to training the abdominal muscles. Do the abs require more reps to burn away body fat? Do the muscles require more sets, more exercises? Let's find out. Regarding how Mike trained his abs when preparing for competition, a bodybuilding fan wrote to him at Muscle and Fitness in 1981 asking, quote, "Why is it, Mike, that you train your abs in the same fashion as your other body parts? Won't high-intensity training make your abs thicker?" Close quote. Mike replied, quote, "The answer to your first question is in your second question. I train my abs in high-intensity fashion just like my other body parts because, yes, high-intensity training will make my abs thicker, which is my goal. Of course, your question implies that thick abdominal development is undesirable. I disagree. I fully realize that the prevailing wisdom has most bodybuilders performing countless low-intensity sets and reps so as not to, quote, overdevelop, close quote, the abdominals. It seems silly to me that bodybuilders should want to develop large arms, chest, legs, backs, etc., and leave the abs puny. What could be more ridiculous and incongruous than a thickly developed bodybuilder of 200 pounds who has the abdominal development of a 160-pound man? Thick, proportionately developed rectus abdominis, frontal abs, set off a well-developed physique and will not thicken or broaden one's waist. The breadth of your abdominal region is dictated by your pelvic bone width, which is inherited and therefore not subject to alteration." Close quote. In the 1990s, a reader of Flex magazine wrote Mike saying, quote, "My biggest problem involves my obliques. Although I am by no means ripped, I seem to collect a disproportionate amount of fat on the sides of my waist. To combat this, I've been doing hundreds of twists with an empty bar across my shoulders. I do them seated, standing, and bent over. I've been doing these every day for months while maintaining a good diet, but my obliques haven't gone down at all. What can I do to get rid of my love handles?" Close quote. Mike replied, quote, "First, stop wasting your time with the twist. This exercise does absolutely nothing to get rid of the fat around your obliques. Because the movement does not offer appreciable resistance even when performed rapidly, the obliques receive no training effect from the exercise, nor are they using up enough calories to burn any fat. Implicit in your letter is the belief in spot reduction, i.e., if you perform enough twists, you'll whittle away the fat in that area. Actually, fat loss is systemic. You lose from throughout the body. The only way to get rid of all the fat around your obliques is to go on a strict, reduced-calorie diet. If you stay on it long enough, you'll eventually burn up all the fat in that area." Close quote. As far as training the abs go, Mike was asked that question by T.C. Luoma for Muscle Media 2000 back in the mid-1990s.
Do you train your abs in the same manner? Do they respond the same way to high-intensity training?
Exactly. The abdominals, understand, are skeletal muscles just like your pectorals, your latissimus, your biceps, your triceps. Therefore, they respond to the same type of stimulus, high-intensity training in little amounts. A lot of people are obsessed with training their abs. They think that performing endless numbers of sit-ups will somehow whittle away the fat on the abs, which, of course, is ridiculous. There is no such thing, listener, as a localized fat loss. And you cannot achieve even generalized fat loss by exercise alone. The losing of body fat is contingent primarily upon calories. If you're consuming less calories than you need for maintenance, your body will be forced to revert to its fat stores for energy.
Mike didn't speak much about abdominal training in his writings or seminars, as he believed that the abs received a lot of indirect stimulation from performing certain exercises in his recommended heavy-duty program. Indeed, he advised most trainees to forget about direct ab training, at least for a while.
I'm going to suggest for the next month or two you don't do any abdominal work for the following reason. This program will at least maintain your existing abdominal condition, even improve it. I have some clients who literally complain after every tricep workout with those press downs they have sore abs.
More specifically, in Mike's book, Heavy Duty 2, Mind and Body, he recommended the following with regard to training the abdominals. Quote, if you are particularly concerned about the condition of your abs or have a contest coming up, then train them. Remember, however, that the abdominals are skeletal muscles, just as the pecs, lats, biceps, etc. Therefore, they respond to the same type of stimulus, high intensity. Train abs only on leg day, doing one set of bent knee sit-ups for 15 to 25 reps to failure. Once you can do 25 or more, hold a weight at your chest so you're back to 15 to 25 again. Close quote. A long-held belief exists that you can train the upper and lower abdominals. However, because of non-contiguous innervation, all parts of the abdominals respond as a connected unit. You can't isolate upper or lower abs. You may be more acutely aware of the upper or lower region of the abs, depending upon whether the resistance is affixed to the legs or the trunk of the body, but that doesn't change this anatomical fact.
I'm going to ask you, Mike, about one body part in particular that I'm sure a lot of men out there watching will be interested into is the stomach.
Right.
Now, how do you get a washboard stomach like we saw on that? I'm sure most guys with summer coming up would die for that kind of information.
Well, you definitely don't want to indulge in too much beer like we were talking about before.
Right.
But it's primarily a matter of nutritional control, calorie control. As long as you know what your maintenance level of calories is and you go any number below that, you will lose body fat. Of course, the further you go into a calorie deficit, the more fat you'll lose at a faster rate. And the secondary factor is, of course, physical training, building up the muscle tissue. But even if you are training and building the muscle tissue up and you have the fat, you're still going to appear fat.